What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another showdown breakdown for tonight's Monday Night Football battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, courtesy of Awesemo.com. After Jordan Howard ripped out our hearts and souls on the Thursday Night Football slate, we need a little power of positivity to get our lives back on track. So right now, please hit that like button, and also comment the guy you think is going to break tonight's slate down below. If you do find that Jordan Howard, I'll be very proud of you. So right now, make sure to like this video and comment your slate breaker down below. But as always, let's start with the quarterbacks for today's showdown breakdown, and Andy Dalton at Pittsburgh's an interesting option with 20.5 implied points for Cincinnati. Dalton attempts 43 passes per game with 308 yards per game, while Pittsburgh allows opposing quarterbacks to complete 74% of their attempts so far. Dalton's 8% sack rate against Pittsburgh's 78 graded pass rush by PFF is a concern, but Dalton's 96 QB rating with 72% accuracy under pressure could give Dalton captain upside at his price when paired with some of his explosive receivers. And Mason Rudolph versus Cincinnati is on the other side with 24 implied points for Pittsburgh. Rudolph has not impressed thus far with a 4% INT rate and a 57% completion rate, but in a home game against Cincinnati's 37 graded pass coverage, it could be a decent spot for him. Cincinnati's defense offers a 129% boost to wide receiver ones and a 55% boost to wide receiver twos, according to Football Outsiders DVOA, so Rudolph can create value for himself in spite of his own middling talent. And now onto the running backs, and Joe Mixon at Pittsburgh looks like a solid play with a decent floor as well as some upside. Mixon was up to 17 touches versus Buffalo in week 3 and should have a floor worth being in line despite Pittsburgh's 4.1 yards per rush and a 77 graded run defense. Mixon sees 2.3 red zone rushes per game and has far more touches than Giovanni Bernard's 5 in week 3, so there was hopefully not much potential to get Jordan Howard in here for Joe Mixon. And James Conner versus Cincinnati looks like an expensive but very popular play in this spot. Conner has been down to 15 touches per game from 20.6 in 2018, but his 4.3 targets per game and overall workload offer opportunity and a decent floor with regular lineup spots as well as captain exposure. Cincinnati allows 4.9 yards per rush with a 58 graded run defense by PFF, so the opportunity is substantial for Conner if the game script doesn't result in Pittsburgh trailing and needing to throw more. And now into the pass catchers in this game, and Cincinnati's receivers versus Pittsburgh have some interesting options. Tyler Boyd is a clear top target with 11 targets per game and a 73% catch rate, but John Ross runs more routes with 42 per game, and he's been a top receiver in yards after catch over expectation this year. Tyler Eifert and Auden Tate lurk as cheaper dart toss plays at 20 routes and 3.7 targets per game for Eifert, while Tate was up to 33 routes as well as 10 targets in week 3. And the Pittsburgh receivers versus Cincinnati also have some options to consider. Juju Smith-Schuster remains the top projected option for Pittsburgh despite his 7.7 targets and 36 routes per game, down from 10.2 and 42.8 respectively in 2018. Deontay Johnson appears to be the most valuable secondary target with 25 routes and 2.1 yards per route in week 3, but James Washington ran more routes with 32 and could benefit from the tight end uncertainty with Vance McDonald out and snaps expected to go to Xavier Grimble and new acquisition Nick Vannett. And now onto the main event, of course, the defenses and the kickers, and Pittsburgh's defense versus Cincinnati could be in play in some lineups. Pittsburgh's 5.5% sack rate and 9% pass deflection rate are poor numbers for a once vaunted defense, but a home game and Cincinnati's poor pass and run blocking could give them a shot at usefulness. And since the goal of showdown lineups is to tell a story, there are some ways in which Cincinnati's defense could be in play at Pittsburgh. Mason Rudolph's 4.3% INT rate is bad, but he's avoided taking sacks well with just a 4% sack rate, so Cincinnati's defense has a chance at low-owned upside if Mason Rudolph throws picks, but seems unlikely to be able to have a big enough day worth a lot of exposure. And of course, then we have our kicker options as well. Cincinnati's Randy Bullock appeals more, with the Pittsburgh defense has allowed teams to move the ball but stiffened up in the red zone with just 4.4 points per red zone trip allowed, while Chris Boswell is more playable in lineups that assume James Conner or Mason Rudolph and the pass attack stall out in the red zone. So there you have it. Those are the angles I'm thinking about when building my showdown lineups tonight, so make sure to hit that like button right now, and of course also comment the guy you think is going to break tonight's Monday Night Football showdown slate down below. And if you want some more data, including the ownership projections and player projections for tonight's Monday Night Football game, you can also use this promo code SWITCHANDHEDGE for half off your first month of Awesemo Plus. Go to awesemo.com/join and find packages as low as $3.95 a week that can help you build better lineups right now. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I've got content coming out pretty much every day. MLB season's over, but NBA season's just around the bend as well, so I have a ton of things coming up for you at Chris Spags on Twitter and Instagram. Views keep on going up for these videos, so thank you guys for watching, and of course the like button support also means a bunch. But I'll see you guys again Thursday for another showdown breakdown with Jared Goff, so that's going to be a fun one. And I'll see you guys then. Enjoy your Monday Night Football games, and good luck.